Hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of TPStreams webinar series. I'm Stephen Sunny, your host, and joining me is Dinesh, the co-founder of Test Press. Dinesh, thank you for being with us today. Yes. Today we are honored to have Sir Ajas Mohammed Jansher, the founder of Eduport. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this.
Okay, thank you. Honored to be in this podcast.
Same thing. So, if we talk about Ajas, he is a leader in EdTech innovation and he's transforming education through technology, and he's making sure that education is accessible to everyone. And Eduport is an EdTech platform, is a globally renowned EdTech platform used by many users. And today we are going to dive into the core learning of Eduport and how it came out, and the core structure behind how they have built such a strong platform. So once again, thank you so much, Ajay sir, for being with us today. Yes. So Ajay sir, like how is it? How is it going over here?
It's good, yeah, it's great. We are going in a very good momentum now.
Then what about Eduport? Any new, upcoming?
Actually, like my vision is to become a global brand in education, and for that we have set small milestones or missions. And the first mission is to become the number one player in Kerala, and we are all set, or we are aiming it to be by 2026 to reach that milestone. Then we'll be expanding to other states. At the same time, we are developing a lot of technology that can help students learn better.
So Ajay sir, like I know this is a question most of them would have asked, but still we would like you to share just a few lines on it, like the inspiration behind what made you actually to start Eduport in the first place. I know that, but still for the viewers who haven't watched it.
Like Eduport was an accidental startup actually, and there was no inspiration at all to start it. It was during the COVID. I was teaching my cousin, and suddenly I don't know where this idea came from. I just uploaded in YouTube, okay, and it became a very viral, and a lot of teachers, students, and parents were using it. And when the result came for the 10th standard, many students and parents called me and told like, my son never got an A plus in maths since his lifetime, and only because of your class he got this. And they asked one question: can you start plus one? And that was when I decided like, let's start a report. Okay, and that was not no inspiration at all to start. But once I started this, and once I deep dive into the industry, like I can see a lot of things can be done there. So now those are the whys which are guiding us to run Eduport ahead. Yeah. So it was like the first thing is education sector as an industry or as a sector doesn't have much or didn't had any changes since last 100 years. Maybe the same classroom which your parents studied, you may be studying in the same classroom, and your kid will be also studying. Maybe the difference will be a projector and all. But compare it with any other industry, like it has evolved a lot. So now it is the time to change education, and we wanted to be the front runner in that one. And secondly, many students are having some added advantage, or some students are not getting the education they really has to. Okay, so we wanted to make it accessible to all, and we believe through online we can do it. Like especially in India, the youth and the younger generation, the number is very high, and the only way for us as a country to prosper is to provide better education for all the kids and all the youth. And for that, it has to be accessible to all, and definitely we wanted to make that happen. So that is why we are existing now. But when I started, I didn't have any inspiration.
I understand, like as you said, you didn't have any inspiration, but right now you are an inspiration for a lot of let's say even students or an edutech startup companies who is growing, seeing you grow. So that's a good thing, right? Right.
Startups which born out of necessity, right? That really get that product market fit very well.
Exactly, yes,
Than
yes.
starting as inspiration. And market demands it.
That's true. Like we were cash positive from day one. Like immediately I announced like I was starting +1 classes, and it was like 12,000 rupees if you are paying for single time, like 12,000 rupees per year, and if you are paying it in 2 installment, it is like 6,500 into 2. Okay, and the classes were supposed to start on August 3rd. I announced this on July 29th. And on August 2nd night, my account was having around 30 lakh rupees. And it all started from there. That is one advantage most of the startup don't get. So from that onwards, we started, and it was cash positive till now.
It's a dream for many edtechs, right? Being cash positive is a dream for.
Like we launched at the right time during the first lockdown of COVID, and also like at that time this online learning was not that prominent, and the technology were just getting adapted. So we came up with a very good solution. That was one reason.
Then I believe you said that the goal, the mission is to like make this brand globally. But I believe it's already a global brand
No,
because
it's the way which I believe it to become a global brand is like it should be a household name everywhere. Like,
everywhere.
Like Khan Academy.
no, even we were thinking like, okay, is there such a product there, like which is a household name for everyone? Even you can tell maybe Apple, but Apple is still not that much affordable to most of the people around the globe. And I think as a product, it could be Dettol, where in that particular category, most of the people think about Dettol, and most other products are tech products like Google or Instagram. Those are household names. So we want Eduport to be such a name. Okay, so it will take, that is our guiding star. Okay, it will take, I don't know how long it will take, but we will be moving fast to that, and we will start with Kerala, then other state, then other country. That's what our plan is.
so and also like I want to understand like in this process, right? Like you might have definitely faced a lot of challenges. Like, can you walk us through it? Like how did you overcome those challenges? Like,
See, the first thing is running. Elon Musk once told, like running is a business is like chewing glasses every day. So it will have challenges and all. And first thing is we should accept that, and we should go approach everything with that mindset. Every day we will have new challenges and all. And secondly, like I don't know, first thing is my co-founders are very much supportive, and it's not me single-handedly handling those challenges, so they are supporting me a lot. And most of the challenges has a solution. Okay, and business has been there since long time, and there are a lot of studies, there are a lot of research on each and everything. Like once we had a lot of HR challenges, like we were not able to hire the proper talents, but a lot of books are there written to how to hire, etc. For example, Who is a very good book, and I just started reading it and started implementing it, and that's how we handle challenges. Sometimes there will be still problems which are not solved yet, but definitely we'll solve those things.
So we believe books helped us to overcome.
Books is a huge source, and the only thing I regret about my college life is I didn't read much. I could have read all these things before.
All the have the regrets. Yes. Books like so all the most hiring was one of the major challenge for you.
Right, yes, right. And now another thing is that since Eduport has become little bit popular in Kerala, it's easy to convince them. In the initial stage when we were putting some ad and all, people, what is Eduport? I don't know. That kind of response was there. But now as a brand, since we grew, it was easy for us to, we don't need to convince them why they should join the company.
So hiring as such, like academic,
all I believe like we need to have very good talent. We don't. We just not need mediocre people. So that is why it is difficult to get anyone. that is fine, perfectly fine, and we can fill each and every position. But to get the best one, it was difficult.
How do you handle the churn or retention rate?
We don't have much churn rate because in the initial day itself, or our core value itself has like this should be a very good place to work for. Okay. Our churn rate will be very much lower than the industry standard.
Retention is not a major problem for us.
Not a major problem.
So, apart from the hiring, any other major challenges you face? Fundraising? Have you ever tried raising funds?
That was one thing. Like we never had to raise fund. The first thing is we are not that super aspirational, or we don't want to grow like 10x every year. We want to grow 2x, 3x every year. That is one thing. So those kind of challenges was not there. But in between, we got some funding from friends and family, like the Jain University director has invested in us. So funding challenges was not there. Then what could be like the marketing thing, rather than challenges, it was a lot of confusions, like whether we should spend how much a lot in marketing or not. And also like recently we have moved into offline also, like we are having 5 campuses across Kerala, and that is actually a huge challenge.
So offline means more cash, right?
More operational cost, as well as a lot of my mind space was going on that. Bandwidth issue.
So all rental, right? Mostly should be rental.
Try to be as lean as possible, but still we have to infuse a lot of capital.
So this would have increased your operational expenses.
Yeah, it is transformed.
Right. So you're talking about making learning accessible to everyone in Kerala. I mean, especially, right? So I want to understand what are the initiatives like the Eduport has taken till now in regards to that, like making sure that everyone is getting.
For Eduport, the pricing was we always wanted it to be affordable. Okay, and because like last time I went to Kashmir, okay, with my family, and there was one boy who was helping us there through that Dal Lake, okay, and he was in 8th standard, and I just asked him like, why you are not going to school? So he told he was studying and he liked going to school, but last year his his father had a heart attack and he cannot work anymore. So in order to support the family, the boy has to work. Okay, and I cannot tell him about the importance of education and all, because at the end it is all about hunger and meeting the basic need. No, so what I aspire is in evening he'll go back and learn with Eduport. Okay, and that is what my aspiration is. So we are doing everything to make things affordable. So we are investing a lot in technology so that the per user cost will be reduced. For example, we are providing mentorship and all. Like currently we have a mentor to student ratio, for example, it is 100. Like if we brought or bring in new technologies so that the mentor to student ratio becomes like 1000. Like most of the things are covered by technology. That means we can reduce the fees further. That is what we are doing. And currently our cost of most of the courses are like less than 5,000 for an year. So it must be affordable to almost everyone in the state and in the country. But still there are some courses like our offline programs are a little bit expensive because of the operational cost and all, but still I am doing a lot to bring it down also.
Right. Using technology to reduce the cost.
Yes.
Like for example, technology can do a lot of things. Like call quality, we have a lot of team like 5-6 person to just monitor the call quality, but now using GPT and all, definitely we can monitor the call quality such that 6 persons cost would be saved, which will ultimately reduce our price.
So call quality means
Vendor call quality and all.
Thank you, thank God, because I was thinking sales call. Like this is one of the interview I see that you never do a calling to your students. Right. So mental call quality. Right?
Yes.
And so one thing is I want to, I mean, most of the EdTech startups, right, they are driven by sales. I'm really amazed that one of your interviews said that you don't do much sales calls and Eduport. Most of them are word of mouth. And then what was the reason for setting that?
That doesn't mean we don't have salespersons. We do have salesperson, but they are just guiding them to take the admissions, not the other way, like calling some random student or parent like, do you have a kid studying? We are from, that is not happening. The first thing is like we have built a online brand through YouTube and other funnels, which most of our paid customer were once using it for free. And they got some advantage. For example, a student who used to fail might have passed the exam by watching our classes, and a student who got 80% would have scored 90 or 95% by watching, following our classes. Then we'll get their number, like we provide a lot of free steps to them, and maybe a simple WhatsApp status. For example, we are starting our next batch on November 15th, could bring a lot of sales. That's how we work. And that why we decided that is we wanted to keep the price low. And most of the companies are struggling for this customer acquisition. Like major problem for most of the company. If our CAC is high, definitely we'll have to increase the fee also. So that's how we build the business. Since, like I told the story, it was like initially like I gave classes for free for 10th standard students, and they asked me whether you can give classes for 11th. So the same strategy we are doing for every classes.
So I remember that 2% is the CAC cost, right, for you?
Yes, it's around.
That's a dream number for many of the EdTech startups. So one more thing, I've seen just like this is my observation. If you can help us in Chennai, right? Like most of the startups, SaaS startups, the trend is starting as SaaS startups in Chennai, and Gurgaon and Bangalore, right? Like most of them are consumer startups. In Kerala, I see a lot of EdTech startups from 2018. Many successful EdTech startups and educational startups are based out of Kerala. So any reason or anything you could
I think always people follow a trend. Like why California is the basis of a lot of tech company. It could be like, I think it was started by HP very early, then Apple came, then Google, and a lot of great companies are based out of Silicon Valley, to be precise. And Silicon Valley. I was watching this Naval Ravikant's one of the interview, and he was telling it is the only place in the globe now which is that much important, Silicon Valley. That always people follow a trend. You know how people gravitate towards that particular place, and it was this Stanford University there, then the California official laws and everything was supporting this tech startup culture. And in Tamil Nadu, I think it might have started with Zoho, and Zoho was a successful venture, and most of this its earlier employees had started another startups, and there is a term itself, Zoho Mafia is there, like Freshwork was from there, and many startups, and that could be one reason. And regarding Kerala, like not only EdTech, there are some other industries also. For example, in gold, it's all about Mallu companies, Malabar Gold, Joya, Lucas, Kalyan, everyone. And also now it's like this gold loan, Muthoot, Manappuram, etc. Finance also, it's Kerala stuff. And then why EdTech could be, one reason could be education is a problem for almost every Kerala parents. Okay.
They take it seriously?
They take it seriously, and it is not a new trend. It was there when I was a kid. Okay. It was like, I think since last 20 or 30 years, almost every kid in Kerala gets the primary education, which may not be true for any other state in India. It could be like upper middle class in some state or middle class and above in some state. But in Kerala, irrespective of their financial background, every student goes to school and the parents are concerned. Okay. Also, there are a lot of success stories, like a kid from a poor background studied, became a doctor, engineer, or a collector, and not only saved his family but the entire area. Okay. So education was very much important thing in Kerala, And that could be one reason why when we start a startup, we think about let's do something in education. Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be the reason. And then now onwards, the trend will follow. You can see a lot of new startups will come from Kerala in EdTech sector.
Okay, super. So when you say EdTech, right? Like right now, I believe you are limited to after school education. I mean,
Yes.
the coaching and the
Right,
tuition. I'm sure you're doing tuitions as well.
Yes, tuitions and coaching, yeah.
Tuitions and coaching for the NEET and NEET and JW for the coachings.
And we started from 8th standard on.
8th standard.
School tuition.
So any plans to get into the SSC industry or the banking industry or the KPSC industry?
No, like our next plan will be, first thing is English learning.
Okay.
Because what I believe is if a kid can understand English, it's not about speaking. If he can understand English, his world will be so wide.
Amazing.
Okay, so that is one thing which we wanted to do. And second will be skilling. Okay, as I told before, when you ask any youth, they'll be telling there is no job here, it's all about unemployment and all. But if you ask any entrepreneur, they will tell we are not getting good employees. So there is a huge gap. Yes. So that will be another thing, but we won't be, and UPSC, SST, etc. could be there, but not in the near future, not in our funnel right now.
So we're expecting an English course.
Could be,
English learning.
Yes.
And yeah, Kerala. Many people aspire to go out of India, right? Like when it goes out of India, IELTS and TOEFL becomes a very important thing.
Yes.
And English we can expect very soon.
That is not for IELTS or TOEFL.
General
for
English
general English to understand, listen, and speak English.
Super.
And then upskilling. We are coming in next few years. Super. And good thing is like Eduport is really, as you said, it's cash positive from the day one, and I'm sure it's continuing even nowadays also. And many EdTech startups, right, they're bleeding money, which means like they're struggling to make it profitable, and then raise the funds nowadays after 2021. The funding winter has arrived, right? After that, they're struggling to raise the funds. What do you think is a reason for EdTech failures and recipe for EdTech failure? Just
I don't think these are failures. So, do you know any other global brand in EdTech? Is
From
there any,
India?
Not from India, anywhere like Amazon in e-commerce or Google in search. And is there any global EdTech brand?
only one I know. I would say, but they're not a private limited, but they are a non-profit.
Khan Academy.
Apart from that, there are educational brands I would say, but not EdTech. I would say Princeton
Yes.
right?
That is what I'm telling you. EdTech as an industry is very new, globally. So we can say this either Coursera or Udemy, but they are not that. It's kind of like a paid educational video streaming service. That's what I would say though. Okay, but so as an industry, EdTech is very new globally. So there will be trial, innovations, failure, and all. That will be a part. But when it comes to most of other industry, for example, whether it was Flipkart, Ola, or anything, that was something which already existed and that was profitable. Okay, so for investors, it was easy for them to fund them because they already have a model. Okay, a successful model. That would be one reason. And these failures are a part of, and definitely there could be many other players who tried once to become Amazon and failed. But ultimately Amazon was the winner. Okay, so this will be part of that evolution. That is first thing. And secondly, EdTech has a big problem. The entry barrier is very low. Okay, but Amazon or Ola or Swiggy, now it is very difficult to have another Swiggy. But it's very easy to have another Eduport. If 4 or 5 teachers have decided they have the correct method and correct vision, definitely they can become another Eduport or another physics wala. So that may be one reasons why investors don't like bleeding money. In other industries, most of the industries, they have like Amazon, I think they were bleeding for at least 13 years.
Even now, Amazon.com is not profitable. Only AWS is profitable.
14th year only they were little bit profitable. But regarding EdTech, if we are not profitable right now, most probably we will not be profitable at all. Because once we do something to make profitable, definitely a new player will come and they will reduce the price, reduce the cost, give more offers, and it will be bleeding for us again. Now I guess Physics Wala also reported loss, huge loss, like 1,000 crores and all. So that could be the reason. Like as an industry, this is just maturing, and there will be lots of trial and errors, innovations and failures, which gradually become lead to one of the very good brand. I don't know who it will become. And secondly, this entry barrier thing could be one thing which investors look into. So they wanted us to be cash positive from initial days itself.
More than the investor's point of view, I would say in a business point of view, many, what do you call it, all of them are making losses.
Yes.
And yeah, you're cash flow positive.
But one reason for their losses is expansion. Like why we are cash positive is we are slow. Okay. If we are planning to launch in 3 other states next year, or SSC or PSC coaching, and definitely will be also bleeding. So it's being cash positive is not always a good thing. It's only because we are slow.
You anticipated growth 2x a year.
Correct. I don't know, maybe next year most of them will become cash positive. And the major thing which I understand is the entry barrier thing. Whenever we try to increase the rate, somebody will come and reduce the rate.
One more thing I've analyzed myself personally is the lifetime value of the user is very less.
This is the only industry where the most of the work has to be done by customers. I'll explain. Like for example, if you are going to a restaurant, they'll prepare biryani and serve to you. Think about it like that. They'll give you some chicken, some chili sauce, some pepper powder and all, and they'll give you a recipe how to prepare biryani. That is what happening in education. Like even though we provide good classes, good questions, previous year question and everything, the problem is the student has to learn, and 75% of the effort is from their side. If they are not taking that effort, they'll not blame themselves, they'll blame Eduport. Like I joined Eduport but nothing happened. The thing is that he didn't study. So that is also one challenge. Every year there will be churn rate from the customer point of view. Okay, like for Swiggy, like if they deliver the order on time, then we won't look for any other alternative because we are not doing any effort. But in education, it's not that. And I think this is the only industry.
One more thing also I've seen that, you start getting the users at 800. Right? Maximum they'll be with you till the 12 starts. The LTV, lifetime value of the user is only 4 years or sometimes even 2 years. Next year you need to get a new kid to balance the one which moved out. Whereas in the Swiggy or Ola or Zomato or any other, even once you get a customer, it will be with you for lifelong until there is not much issue. So I find this particular test preparation industry, at least lifetime value of the user is one of the major challenge. And whereas in the upskilling, right, that can be avoided. Coursera and Udemy, once you know Coursera, right, you will be using it till at least 10-15 years. The Coursera or Udemy you will be using it for 15 years. So I've observed that LTV could be one of the reasons for the...
Yeah, it has to be like, even we are planning to start from little bit more early, like 4th onwards, so that LTV will be little bit higher, and also after 12th also, if there is some way to upsell to them, that LTV part we have to cover. That has to be done. So, right.
We see.
So yeah, I've seen that. I'm sure at this point of time, many entrepreneurs will be following you. Many budding entrepreneurs, EdTech entrepreneurs will be following you. Not just EdTech, all entrepreneurs will be following you. What are the favorite books you advise them to read before they start or while they're in the business?
I would actually, like I started reading once I started running the business. Okay, I would recommend all the books by Jim Collins. Who wrote this Beyond Entrepreneurship, Good to Great, How Mighty Fall, how etc. And this Beyond Entrepreneurship, I would recommend them to read 2 or 3 pages every day continuously forever. that has to be the Bible for all the entrepreneurs. Okay, and I also read some productive. The most of the books I read are business books, as well as productive books also. Like Atomic Habit is one of the popular book for everyone. As well as recently I read this Feel Good Productivity. That was something which you told, like work-life balance and all. Yeah, that was from a new author, Ali Abdal, and that was also good.
And one more thing, most of the founders, right, they want to hold the CEO position for life, at least many, so all I would say. You brought in a new dimension to this, in the, at least in the Indian industry. You got a management consultant from IBM. I think everybody knows Akshay Mohammed Jansher. Why the decision was taken? I know you are a hardcore teacher, maths teacher, and sometimes even teach physics also. What made you to bring Akshay on board?
See, first thing is I was not obsessed with CEO position at all. Okay, that particular position, I was not obsessed at all. Second thing was, when the company grew so fast, at the same time I was teaching and also managing the company, and I was burning out a lot. And I have to decide what I should do. Either I should quit teaching and focus solely on managing the company, or the opposite. So I decided to follow teaching, because that was giving me a lot of positive vibes. Okay, to interact with students, to be a role model to them, to educate them. So I decided, like, somebody has to take the role of managing the company, and I asked.
Super. Next question is, Akshay was working in Singapore. I mean, you told other interview, and I was actually working in as IBM management consultant. How did you? Many people aspire to go from India to Singapore. How did you manage actually to come from Singapore to India and then to Kozhikode, Cochin? How did you make it happen?
It was, I didn't convince him, I didn't have to convince him a lot, because I think our call lasted for maybe 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, because there was a founder in Akshay. Okay, if there is a founder in you, definitely no other job can satisfy you rather than becoming a part of a startup. Okay, but Akshay actually had to convince a lot of people, his parents, his fiancée and all, because she got a very good offer from a US company, and she told her, no, I'm getting married next year and I'll be traveling to Singapore, relocating to Singapore. And suddenly he was telling that I'm coming back to India. So he might have to convince a lot of person, but Akshay had an entrepreneur mindset in him, and that was the only thing which I was also looking. So I didn't have to convince him.
We missed meeting Akshay today. Like, if Akshay had been here, we could have a more conversation. Maybe we'll love to meet him sometime later. Okay, I mean, as you said, right, burning is one of the problems in the entrepreneurial journey. You will have a lot of, I mean, as you said, achieving the glass is the right word to say. So how do you balance this? Like, you brought Akshay and then handled this business part. Personal issues like spending time with the families, work-life balance, how do you manage it?
See, for me, work and life are not two different things. Work is a part of life. It was not only when I became an entrepreneur, before also, we are spending most of our time in work. Then it should not be distinguished away from life. So that is one thing, and definitely, if I was not an entrepreneur, definitely I would have spent more time with my family. But I already had an open conversation with my partner and also with my kids and all, and they understand. And still, I think it's all about priorities. Still, there are a lot of empty time, or the time which we waste. I reduce those and spend it with my kids. Still, I would say I'm a very good husband and a father.
Happy to know that.
Yes.
This important question. Many educational companies, I would say, not EdTech, many traditional education companies, I spent at least crores of, I myself seen personally in Kerala, spend crores and crores of money in building an app. in building their own web portal. So Testpress has multiple products.
Okay.
We have an LMS, we have a streaming software which can be used for other apps also.
Right.
I interact with many many education institutions. Many education institutions spend crores and crores of money, and they couldn't successfully build a website or an app for them.
Okay.
You being a non-technical, I would say, you did engineering in Kozhikode. Which degree you?
Like I did engineering in computer science from NIT Calicut, and that was the answer for your question. If you complete,
NIT Kozhikode, you know the basics.
yes, I know the basics, and I think I'm a very good product guy. Like whenever I use an app, I always think about the product part and all. So that's why the app which we built was comparatively much better. Like I think we are the first company to offer a schedule, daily schedules in app. Okay, previously most of the companies were sending it as an email and all, but we were using WhatsApp initially to send the schedules. Like every day we give schedules for the students, and we were using WhatsApp. This is this week's schedule and all. But once our student base increased and we were sending the same message to multiple WhatsApp group, WhatsApp banned our number. So out of that necessity, we thought, okay, then why send this in WhatsApp? Let's do it in our app itself. So we launched this schedule part much earlier. Like in the first or second year, we did that.
The engineer in you, which NIT Kozhikode has helped you, and the product guy inside you, and you interact with the students, right?
Yes.
All the three combined qualities help you to build a successful
app. True. That's right.
How many failures in building the app? Like, were you face any failures in building the app? Like choosing the wrong people? I'm sure you would have outsourced it. Or
no, initially it was an outsourced app. Like during the first app was outsourced by one guy, and after some point I understood like our major strength should be the app, and it cannot be built from a service provider. It has to be built in house. So I built an in-house team and started building it. Okay, and yes, there could be many failures and there could be many failures and many features which we thought will be very much useful for students didn't work. And then I read this book, Mom Test. That is also one book I would always recommend for all the entrepreneurs. Mom Test, MOMTEST. Mom Test. Okay, that is something like how to interact with the customers to see their needs and all. Okay, later we changed all our features based upon those principles, and now things are getting better. And another thing is that in EdTech, it's not only about the app and features, but also the content also plays a role. Okay, that also we identified later only. Sometimes the feature is too good such that our content team is not enough to pull it off. That also happens. So we made a lot of changes in the content team. Now things are getting better, and I always have a lot, like I would say I will be having some 25 to 50 new features in my mind. The only thing is that the time and the resources.
how do you get the features idea? Like you interact with the students. I mean, you are a Kozhikode teacher, but how do you get a new idea for new feature idea?
I follow the tech news a lot. Okay, so whenever there is a new innovation, for example in ChatGPT or the Whisper or anything, somehow my subconscious mind connected with our app, how we can implement this thing in our app, and that's how those feature ideas are there. And also, like I always wanted to reduce the human effort in the app and in the company. So technology should play a key role in that.
How do you assess which feature is working well with the students, which feature is not working well with
We
the
have a
students?
lot of tracking mechanisms and all. So whenever we launch a new feature, definitely we'll be checking this.
What kind of tracking tool you use?
It was, I forgot its name. Mixpanel.
Mixpanel.
Yeah.
So
and also the Firebase analytics also.
Not Moving in general, Firebase and then
And Mixpanel.
Mixpanel. So these are the main analytics features
Yes.
inside. So when you want to, if any entrepreneurs want to build a successful educational app, there should be a product guy, hardcore product engineer.
I would not say in that way. Initially, they can outsource it.
Initially, they can outsource.
They can definitely, like Testpress is a wonderful platform which I know. Like I didn't know about it in the initial stage. The guy which built our app in the initial stage, that was a mediocre app only. So that is why I switched to in-house team. If it was TestPress, definitely maybe till now we will be running in TestPress, because to build an educational company, our main focus should be on education, not on technology. Okay, so start with that, make a market MVP, check with the market whether it is working, then depending upon their vision, they can
That's
have
amazing.
it in-house. Yeah,
Many people make a mistake here.
yeah, a lot of people.
I know lots and lots of educational, not EdTech, educational companies spent crores and crores of money, burnt and got nothing out of it, and then came back to TestPress again.
Yes, yes, yes.
So-
And this is not only in education, even when we are starting a new business, we should keep it lean. Okay, like we started with a single seat in Kerala Startup Mission Incubation Hub, and that is the only reason why we reached till here. Now we have a very good office and all, but if we had worked for an office like this in the initial days, definitely we would have shut down.
I met Lijesh, right?
Yes,
in,
we
in,
met Lijesh.
2021 or 22, I think. I don't
It's
know.
a 22 actually.
22. I met
Lijesh and Sahin was in Kochi.
And I know that Cochin is a incubator.
Incubator as well.
And I would say the Kerala Startup Mission has helped us a lot in many ways. Okay, and one of the reason why we are here will be because of them
Kerala
also.
I think that's a great thing. Kerala startup, I mean, they have a park here, right?
That was co-working
And also in
spaces
Cochin
there.
also they have
They
a
have
separate-
almost in many districts.
And the per seat price is 2,000 rupees per seat
It
price.
was 2,000 now it has increased, but till that is the most affordable thing. And also the ecosystem they provide, the support, like wherever there is some tech fest and all, they'll bring us there. Okay, like last time we visited Dubai, JITEX, the stall was offered by Startup Mission. Next week I'm going to Finland, it was also offered by Startup Mission. So that global exposure, otherwise it will be difficult for us.
As you said, TestPress is helping many institutions in building their first application, and that could be last application after they don't need to change a lot. But there are a lot of EdTechs who have their own app, right? Like you. And we have one more product called TPStreams, that is video streaming.
I think we are using
video streaming software. Video streaming software. If you see in EdTech or education, two things in India. One is examination, that is the coding. Next is videos, and rest is all operational things, schedules, other things and all. So we see that many institutions are not struggling to build this app, and we started launching TPC. But that's the reason we approached Eduport in 2022 for TPStreams. How do you think TPStreams helping in the Eduport's app? What's their role? How can
The decision to change from YouTube to TPStream was collectively made, and I was also part of that. That was when, like before that, we used to have like one of the video lecture will be like 45 minutes and all. Then after our research, we understood the video lectures maximum length will be like 15 minutes. Then the YouTube thing was having an initial buffering for 3 to 4 seconds, which I thought is affecting the flow, students' flow. Like every 50 minutes the video is changing. So I asked my tech team to have a better solution. Then they came up with TestPress. We tested it and it was working fine. And also like I was following you on LinkedIn, and Dinesh and TestPress, that name was very familiar for me. So immediately once they told me TestPress is a good solution, I said, yeah, if it is doing the job, definitely we can go ahead.
many plans to build many more products which helps EdTechs to make their job better, which is live streaming. We just launched it. And maybe I'll work with your product team and understand your problems better. We'll build much more products for us. And next thing, see, in this interview I've seen that you've read a lot of books during this journey, which you've not done in the college days. So how do you think this lifelong learning is more important as a student, as an entrepreneur?
As a person, lifelong learning has to be a part of their life. Learning has to be a part of their life. What happens in many times, I used to give an orientation for the newly joined staff. So what I always cover to them is like, most of the people think that working in a company is like company need some task to be done, so they need a person, so they are hiring someone and paying for them. Okay, and most of the people work like that. They want something from us, so we get paid. Instead of it, think like this: it is a part of their personal growth. So whatever job they are doing, it should be done perfectly, and they should learn about the new technology, how they can improve, so that next time if they are telling I'm leaving the company, definitely the owner will come, please don't go, whatever salary you need we can give. Okay, so that learning has to be there. Even I'll tell, the college days I didn't do anything, but after that I have been watching Y Combinator videos. There was one entire playlist, how to start a startup, which I watched a lot, and that could be one of the main reason I decided to upload those tuition videos which I gave to my cousin to YouTube. Okay, so like I understood, or I learned about the first, before this Swiggy thing, there was one, the first startup in that kind was in US. I forgot its name. DoorDash. DoorDash. Yeah. So he started like he was in Stanford, and one of the grocery owner, one old lady, she was complaining him, she is getting a lot of orders through telephone, but she is not able to deliver. So he told, okay, let me start. His website was home delivery in Stanford or something, and people used to purchase things, and he himself was collecting those things from that grocery shop and delivering to, and that was how startups were built, and that was there in my mind. And the Khan Academy thing, it was there in my mind. So always, if you want to grow in any part of the life, you have to learn, you have to improve as a person. So that one of the book which I read, it was telling your success will be directly proportional to the personal growth. Okay, and it won't be more than how much better you are as a person is. So for personal growth, definitely learning has to be there, and it should be a lifelong process.
All the best, Ajas. We wish Eduport to be the #1 app in Kerala by 2026 and become a global brand.
We'll be coming to Tamil Nadu soon.
Awesome. Welcome you to Tamil Nadu.
Thank you so much.